Stories that made headlines during the week. On Monday, President Muhammad Buhari relaxed the lockdown in the FCT, Lagos and Ogun states. In his address to the nation on Monday, the president said there will be an overnight curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m., adding that all movement will be prohibited during this period except for essential services. He also said there will be a ban on non-essential interstate passenger travel until further notice, and also the partial and controlled interstate movement of goods and services will be allowed. Buhari added that his administration will strictly ensure the mandatory use of face masks or coverings in public, in addition to maintaining physical distancing and personal hygiene. He reiterated that the restrictions on social and religious gatherings will remain in place, adding that the lockdown will remain in place until these new ones come into effect on Monday, 4th of May 2020. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, President Muhammad Buhari asked the Nigerian Senate to approve his request to secure a fresh loan of 850 billion naira to fund some projects in the 2020 budget. He made the request in the letter read by the Senate President, Senator Ahmed Lawan, on Tuesday on the floor of the upper chamber. According to the letter, President Buhari seeks to raise the loan from the domestic capital market to ensure adequate funds to finance projects in the budget. After the letter was read, the lawmakers gave accelerated approval to the president's request to raise the loan. The upper chamber asked the Senate Committees on Finance and Appropriation to liaise with the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, to get more details on the loan request. Meanwhile, the Senate President had in his own welcome address said the resumption of plenary was to help sustain solutions to the health crisis and to ensure it does not create more problems for Nigerians.
It remains our intention to access the international capital markets when global conditions improve to refinance this 850 billion naira of new borrowing and epitomize the benefits inherent in external borrowing.
Now, Chairman of the Presidential Task Force (PTF) and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on Wednesday gave a press briefing on the COVID-19 pandemic in Abuja. The Presidential Task Force (PTF) released the guidelines for the ease of COVID-19, which will come into effect on May 4th. In a briefing on Wednesday, PTF Chairman and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, noted that banks and offices will reopen next week. He, however, insisted that educational institutions will still remain shut nationwide as precautionary steps to prevent the spread of the virus in the country. Ahead of the reopening of offices, the SGF warned corporate organizations to take some precautionary measures before resuming. Some of these include maintaining social distancing, making available hand sanitizers, and fumigation of other environment, among others, while calling on organizations to give special consideration to persons living with disabilities. On Thursday, the Nigerian government says it has upscaled medical interventions in Kano State owing to the recent spike in death linked to the coronavirus pandemic, a development that is equally generating ripple effects across the country. This position of government was made known Thursday by Boss Mustafa, chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, during its daily briefing. Mustafa said the intervention by government includes distributing medical equipment. He said the 2-week lockdown declaring in the state will generate the desired effect. Meanwhile, Nigerians have been urged to be very supportive of the government's efforts at combating the pandemic.
The testing laboratories in the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital and the Buhari University, Kano, have become fully functional. The Presidential Task Force has released a number of equipment to be transported immediately to Kano to beef up the response.
Straight to Friday, in a tragic story, one person was killed and several others injured after a patrol tanker burst into flames in the Obalende area of Lagos State. The tanker belonging to the NNPC was said to have tipped over before bursting into flames in front of the Wando filling station. The General Manager, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Dr. Olufemi Okeosoyintolu, who confirmed the development, said the 45,000-litre capacity tanker loaded with petrol caught fire after falling on its side from the filling station. He said after the Laseme got the distress call and officials from the agency were dispatched to the scene, where they, along with men of the Lagos State Fire Service and the Federal Fire Service, fought and brought the fire under control. The inferno resulted in a single fatality, 15 minor casualties and 1 major casualty, who happens to be a Lagos State firefighter. He has been subsequently transferred to the Lagos State General Hospital for treatment, while the minor casualties received on the scene medical attention. In a statement signed by NNPC spokesman Kano State, said they wished all those that sustained injuries in the incident quick recovery. And those were the stories that made headlines during the week.
Social distances because of the corona that we have now. When incidents happen like this, the first thing you need to do is that make sure that there's no life lost.